Marchioni alongside Nick Bongiorno in for Friday Night Football for the Burlington Red Devils, taking on the 5-4 Revere Patriots. Coming into this game, both teams are pretty evenly matched, sitting atop in the middle of both of their respective conferences in the Middlesex Freedom Division.
Magana in on that last tackle for Burlington.
And both teams right here in a stalemate after the field goal at halftime. Right before halftime from 40 yards away, making the score 17-14 as the Revere Patriots take this one. Now here's a quarterback, man in motion, hands it over to 22 once again, bouncing outside and being wrapped up. Nice play by McCauley on the outside.
On the carry.
That's Furlong on the carry, and Nick.
McCauley in on the tackle.
The first half was very tricky for the Red Devils. We saw them get out to a pretty good start, but after that they gave up, I believe, 10 unanswered points to close out the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, Joe, they just weren't doing a good job at all stopping the run. And as you said, there were some faults by individual players there that maybe could have stopped that. But it's still a tight game, and Burlington will be looking to get their second dub in a row in this stadium, and I'm looking forward to it in the third quarter.
Revere from 40 yards away, and their kick sails through the uprights.
Wow.
What a fantastic
in such weather,
leg.
Joe.
I'll tell you.
39-yard field goal.
You do not see those kicks even happen sometimes in college. As Bianchi knocks through that field goal, reminding me of Lexington's field goal kicker, making the score 20-14. That's his second field goal
20,
of the game.
14.
Wow, Joe. Wow.
Lead.
That's
Nick,
unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness.
39 yards. That is something else. I'd never seen that really before. I mean, Cam Wheelock has maybe that ability if Coach McKay will let him take that chance at one point. Yeah, great kick, and in such bad weather too. I think that was really nice. So 2014 is third quarter, Joe. A lot to play for still, and Burlington looking for that dub.
And Nick, so far in this game, we've seen sparks and little bits of stretches where the Red Devils have come on, especially from Ryan Colhane and the connection with Kyle Pena. How big will their connection be to come back?
Joe, this connection between Ryan Colhane and Ryan O'Halloran and Kyle Pena on offense has been a key to their success over the past 2 years, especially last year where they didn't do as well as they wanted to, but they had the bright spot of O'Halloran and Pena, that chemistry that continued this year. Sometimes this year though, they've dropped the ball, as in O'Halloran or Pena overthrew them, hoping for that when they're magical and they both do their best ability, then it's very unstoppable, and they're going to score touchdowns.
So Doherty on the run back there, and speaking of
25-yard line.
in their matchups today, Jake Doherty is definitely one of those people. And it's one of his only positive rushes on the game, as this stout defensive front has been holding Burlington back in the run game so far, except their zone defense has been presenting the Red Devils a lot of opportunities on third down, as Kyle Pena has been picking apart this team, except for the one interception that he threw earlier in the second quarter. And Nick, that wasn't a pretty play from the start, throwing into double coverage for your receiver.
Luckily for him, it was bailed out by the pass interference, and they scored a touchdown on the drive. But yeah, as you said, Joe, he has to be more careful with the ball and not turning it over, because Revere so far has been punishing him.
Here's Pena, play action, firing downfield. That pass is caught. Holding McCauley. He has a blocker into the secondary, cutting back. Jake McCauley diving towards the 5 and downed at the 2.
Wow.
What a reception and a run by Jake McCauley, the yards after the catch specialist.
Joe, oh, wow. We talked about Howard. Let's not forget about McCauley. Kyle Pena has laid some dimes to him down the field this year for touchdowns. Almost won there. A beautiful ball, Joe. In between two defenders, very tight coverage. Pena, as we said, he needs to be great. He was great right there. And McCauley, unfortunately, O'Halloran was not strong enough to provide the block that he needed to get to the end zone. But it doesn't matter, because Burlington probably can put it in and get the lead again from the 2-yard line.
We spoke about it all year, about Kyle Pena developing. He's had the pocket presence. He's been able to step up and find the rush. He can fire downfield, but his accuracy has been a problem, and that's really compelling. Now here's Pena on the carry for the 2-point conversion, and that is good, adding on to Pena's as he keeps providing for this Red Devil team.
Into the score for Burlington.
And what a fantastic play, as he already has a rushing touchdown. And that touch that we saw from Pena, dumping it over to McCauley by the zone coverage of the middle linebacker. And just leading to that big catch and run. And then Pena's going to end it himself, picking up the touchdown, and that makes the score 23-20. 20-20 rather in favor of the Red Devils, pending Wheelock's extra point. And that kick is up
Extra point
and
attempt
good just through the left
by
hash
Wheelock
marks.
is good.
As this back and forth game takes another spin as
Burlington,
Wheelock caps it off
21,
21-20 in front of the Patriots.
Yep, on another play, Wheelock doing a good job there in this bad weather. Any kick that's made from whether it's 2 yards out or 30 yards out is hard, and winds, the gusting, and the water pouring down on the ball and throws your timing off and throws the ability to kick it on this turf. So that was that. Obviously, Pena, you know, he said, I did a lot of work in throwing that ball to McCauley, so I'm just taking it for the score myself. Tied the game up, and then now they have the lead. So it's very such a similar game last year, Joe, where it was about 20 points scored for each team, and Burlington ended up with a 1-point lead to end the game, and then the missed field goal from about 40 yards out led to their only win of the season.
You know, unfortunately,
So we'll see if there's another thing that's coming this way.
You know, unfortunately, we couldn't see the first 3 quarters of that game. But I got to say, it was the Red Devils' only victory on the season, and you got to really commend Dan McCain and his squad and how much they've improved over the season. Last year, only winning by a missed field goal here at this field exactly a year ago, and now coming onto this side, 5-4 and possibly going on a 6-4 record. It's definitely a nice turnaround for the squad as Wheelock's onside squib falls short at the 42 to 43 yard line for the Patriots.
See what this offense could do. They've got close, Joe. They said they tied the game. I mean, and they've taken the lead. Even 14-17, their last lead was 14-17.
22-yard line.
And 2014, obviously 7 6-point leads. So they wanted to break it open a bit more. They couldn't do it, and Burlington got back in it. But if they do want to do it, Joe, they need to be more efficient in the red zone, not only scoring field goals, scoring touchdowns, because, frankly, Burlington's team, even though they are out of the playoffs, man, Dan McKay has a squad that is not going to be beat by field goals.
So Murphy hands
on the carry.
it off to his man McNeil, who picks up extra yardage, and that's going to be good for a first down as McNeil gets the chain gang on their feet, continuing to pick up yardage there. And Nick, we've seen the same formation again in timeout. Pretty often tonight for this Patriot offense. It really makes you wonder, when are the Red Devils going to adapt to that type of front and make a change?
It's tough, Joe. I mean, I commentated the games where they let up 40 points each time. And 2 of the most prominent ones, obviously, they lost 41-33, and they also lost 44-14 to Stoneham early in the year, Joe. We saw that. Same 2 formations every time. They couldn't stop it. So this is a very run-oriented game in high school football. So obviously, Dan McKay has wanted to address that over the weeks. And if the team has a good run game, it seems like they can't be stopped against Burlington.
Speaking of stopping the run game, there was Chris Jones making the tackle as it looks like a linebacker is shaken up for the Red Devils there. Not good to see him go down. That's number 52. I believe that's Luke Lord or Tommy Splagunas on the defensive line getting a substitution. The Red Devils trying to change their fortune, losers of their last 3 games. They lost the game versus Melrose at the end of the regular season at Red Devil Varsity Field. And the other 2 games on the road, they lost their first game in the MIAA playoffs, and since then it has been an unfortunate skid for this team trying to get back into the win column and salvage the year. Now here's the handoff. McNeil pushing outside, churning the extra yardage, and McNeil's wrapped up shy of the 35-yard line.
McNeil on the carry.
As they continue to dominate the line of scrimmage and get extra yardage.
That carry was good for first down for Revere.
Yeah, Joe, it's a power run. Sending in a receiver in motion.
Total pitch.
Yep, sending the receiver in motion to be able to block right after they hand the ball off to their running back. It really does well, and Burlington not stopping it, especially at the outside. A good kick-out block by the fullback. And we'll see if they can do it again. They're having no one in motion this time. They're just going full down the middle.
Here's Murphy on the power sweep.
Oh, they got it.
McNeil into the secondary. One man to beat and wrapped up by the legs across the 15-yard line as McCauley makes the touchdown-saving tackle as the Patriots keep inching closer and closer towards picking up 6. Doherty, nonetheless, there to make the tackle into the secondary for the Red Devils.
He saved another lead swing, Joe. If that man gets by Jake Doherty's unraveling arms, it's going to be a touchdown. But Jake Doherty does a nice job of maintaining his ground, not committing too hard to one side, and it remains 20-21, and Burlington with the lead. Very tight, though.
And I'll tell you, I haven't seen too many people this season beat Jake Doherty with pure speed there, but McNeil almost put the jukes on him. And if you can beat Doherty in a pure 40-yard dash running up the sideline like that, I think you deserve a touchdown.
Quarterback keeper.
Nonetheless, here's the keeper for Murphy, and he goes untouched into the end zone.
Murphy on the keeper.
And the Patriots
with a touchdown.
even
Revere.
and get their next score, 26-21, as the Patriots retake the lead.
Yeah, Joe, Burlington's being fooled with misdirection. What do? You go a couple times to the right, you go once in the middle, and you expect them to run the ball just flat out again, but nope. You have all these options. You confuse Burlington a bit on the formation set, splitting receivers out to the right and left. Fake the handoff, great blocks, touchdown.
Waiting for the call by the referees.
2-point conversion, no good.
The 2-point conversion is no good for the second time of the night, as Revere cannot capitalize
Revere
there.
26, Burlington
As it's still
21.
a 5-point lead in favor of the Patriots after that touchdown. Nonetheless, the point after is not good as they retake the lead in a battle that not many would expect. 26-21 towards the end of the third quarter. Clock continues to tick down for no apparent reason.
Joe, I wish that the rain would stop a little bit. My hands are feeling below zero, and I don't know if Burlington is feeling that way either, playing with a hard, solid rock football. They really had to be caressing those balls out there, getting the right touch on them, and taking them into the end zone, because when you caress the balls, good thing's going to happen.
Nick, I think the blood pressure in my hands are lower than the air pressure in Tom Brady's footballs. Nonetheless, the return is taken for a touchback by the Red Devils, and they're going to start this one off from the 25-yard line. Now here's Kyle Pena. His offense has one man in the backfield. It's Doherty, 4 receiver set, 2 lined up in the slot. Dropping back, here's Pena surveying the field, going to run to his left. Flips it up, and that pass falls incomplete, intended
pass.
for Jake McCauley, who almost got his paws on that one. Nonetheless, it's a good PBU in the secondary, forcing a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Joe, 100%. Nice run out to the left. Unfortunately for Pena, it was good tight coverage to the man he was trying to throw it to. Went off his hands, and luckily he wasn't intercepted because there was a safety coming in. 2nd down and 10.
Here's Pena, and that ball pops loose as Doherty falls on top of it. A bit of miscommunication, hiking it early from the center, as that's going to fall short as the clock continues to tick down. Just under a minute remaining in the third quarter. The Red Devils trying to answer back after that quick-fire touchdown drive by the Patriots.
Burlington.
Here in lovely Revere, Massachusetts. Not really feeling too lovely today.
Third down.
Very rainy and intense downpours. Reminds me of India monsoons that we learned about in history class. Nonetheless, both teams in a shootout so far, 26-21 here at Revere High School. 4 receivers set, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Here's Pena, finds the zone coverage, steps up in the pocket. Pena's going to rush it, dives towards the pylon, and nonetheless, that is not good for first down yardage. Back to the line of scrimmage as the clock ticks down to 0. That's the end of the third quarter. As BCAT Sports coverage here, I'm Joe Viscioni alongside Nick Bongiorno. And what has been a back-and-forth game.
That's the end of the third quarter.
I would predict.
Revere 26.
Forcing a 4th
Burlington
and 12.
21.
So the Red Devils find themselves in a 26-21 hole, Nick. A very close game reminiscent of last year.
Yes. I believe it was the same situation last year. Storm had the lead, and Burlington scored a touchdown. So Burlington's going to be trying to do the same thing tonight, trying to score a touchdown to win the game. And I believe they can do it. They have, Joe, it's one of your and I last broadcasts in football. Hopefully that Burlington can come up clutch and get a game-winning drive.
Nonetheless, here's Pena's punt back in the shotgun. And Pena gets a friendly rolling bounce down to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Joe, I think that's a good move. You know, they weren't really going to get that fourth down, especially in this condition. You know, it's early in the fourth quarter. Don't take a risk of injury. Just have the quarterback who's been doing it all year punt it down the field, and there's no chance of return. It's a good play. In the case, I'm lighting it up, and Burlington's defense needs to make a play, or else, you know, Storm will wake it up and break it open.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it too much of a trick play on that one, Nick, as it seemed that they were suspecting that one right from the start. Nonetheless, here's Murphy. The two-receiver set, hands it off to McNeil, who's going to coast up the left sideline, and McNeil is tracked down from behind.
McNeil on the
Good
carry.
tackle made by the Red Devils defensive line.
McCauley in on that tackle
led by
of Burlington.
Jake McCauley swooping in from the secondary to make the stop. And one of the sole highlights on this defense for the Red Devils has been McCauley making plays everywhere tonight, in front of and behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, next year, hopefully, it will be all better for Burlington. You're going to lose all those seniors. Jake Doherty is going to be a major loss. You're just going to take away a lot of the running game options, which is so prominent in high school. So we'll see how it is. And maybe he puts more pressure on Kyle Pena to really see how he's built over these last 3 years at quarterback and put it all together.
20-second timeout.
He's still going to have Ryan O'Halloran, and that's good for his receiving core. He has Pinkham. It shouldn't be a complete downfall, like it is tonight, Joe.
Yeah, in the midst of a complete downpour, there's a timeout taken on the field by the Red Devils to try to get things back going in their way. Facing a 2nd and 10, just below 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, down by just a score. Now, here's the carry over to McNeil. McNeil hurdles a man, gets outside, and wrapped up by the jersey by Ryan Culhane into the secondary and out across the 43-yard line.
Oh, my goodness,
Furlong
Joe.
on the carry.
Furlong, rather.
Culhane knocks him out of bounds.
It's an effect of no rosters, Nick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not fun having those rosters. Furlong was here last year, and we remember this, the announcer speaking
1st and 10 for Revere.
as he's coming in
The
clutch
rule
right there.
45
He spoke his name a lot. So, Joe, it looked like Burlington was going to have him for a loss. And then he might have even got, I saw McCauley going in from behind him trying to punch the ball out, but he couldn't do it. He makes a great hurdle. The blocks deteriorate. He still gets it done in first down, and the clock's ticking.
And I believe the clock actually stopped due to them running out of the bounds. Nonetheless, here's McNeil on the carry, and he is met behind the line of scrimmage. That time, making the clock roll.
Murphy got caught in the backfield.
And Murphy is wrapped up there. Great play made by the Red Devils' interior defensive line.
Finally, you know, I mean, pick your poison with this offense. You know, they can run it outside, inside, do some play action if they want to. Quarterback's pretty tall. He can probably see down the field even in this horrendous weather. So Burlington, you know, with all those options considered, and it's really good for them to get that interior stop on first down, make it 2nd down and 12. It's going to be a lot harder for Storm to convert now.
2nd and 12 for Revere.
Excuse me, Revere.
Now here's Revere coming to the line of scrimmage here. In a stacked backfield, here's the handoff. Over to McNeil, shrugs by a man. McNeil bursting into the secondary and down at the 40 as the ball looked to pop loose at the end. Let's see if he was down. It looked like his knee might have fell down at first as the Red Devils are signaling towards a loose ball. Nonetheless,
Revere recovers the fumble.
Revere recovers their own fumble by number 76 down at the 40-yard line.
Albert recovered the fumble for Revere. 1st and 10 for Revere.
And the Red Devils almost got away with a turnover there, Nick.
You know, Joe, we saw back in the game with the Packers and Patriots, and the Patriots got lucky.
From the Burlington
They were just able to punch the ball out, and they were lucky enough to recover it, the defense that was. But Burlington, no such luck. They punched the ball very well. You know, that's what you're supposed to do when a player's going down, but didn't recover it. They still have it, and now Revere's charging up again, looking to put the game away.
McNeil on the carry. Woods in on a tackle for Burlington.
Good to see him back in the lineup.
Yes.
Second and
Doubles
4
after
for
a couple
Revere.
of games with that unhealthy scratch on his left knee. Nonetheless, time continues to melt off the clock, and it seems Dan McKay is pretty confident, Nick, in his defense, as there's still 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, as this drive has elapsed over 5 minutes.
See how it goes.
One receiver set, man in motion. Here's the handoff to McNeil, straight up.
That
the
looked like
gut.
an ugly handoff.
Good tackle made. Looks to be right around first down yardage. Let's wait to see where the referees put it. Let me see. Good
Furlong.
carry, decent there by Gerlong as time
the
continues to
backfield by
melt off the
O'Halloran.
clock, Nick, and time in and time out, you see teams run the ball on first, second, and third down to continue to melt time off the clock, and it seems like the Red Devils are
Second
unable
and
to make
12
stops
for
up
Revere
the
from
middle
the
on their
Burlington
defense, especially in stopping the
32-yard
run, Nick.
line.
And all season we've been speaking about that, and that's really coming back to haunt them now, isn't it?
Joe, I mean, that was a good stuff. That was a good 2-yard loss there, but the problem is on after they sometimes slack off and they give up huge chunk plays, and it makes it really easy to in the 4-down league to be able to just get it. So we'll see if they can stop them here with 6:30 to go. Maybe save this last game in Revere.
Here's the carry over to McNeil. McNeil bursting into the secondary and down around the 20.
McNeil on the carry. Doherty in on a tackle for Burlington.
And McNeil continues to garner more yardage for his offense as time continues to tick down below 6 minutes as Coach McKay takes his first time out
Third and
to
1
stop the
for
clock.
Revere.
Nonetheless, the Patriots find themselves in a 3rd and 1.
Ball on the
with a
21-yard line.
5-point lead, and it's also important to note. Here is the quarterback sneak, and Murphy finds himself very successful, bursting
Murphy
down
on the
inside
keeper.
the 10-yard
That
line.
carry was
Nick,
good
I
for
was about to
first
say
down.
worst case scenario, they could kick a field goal from there, and just like that, they're finding themselves in a 1st and goal.
Yeah, Burlington needs to stop here, or else the game might be essentially over because it makes a 2-score game. Obviously, you get a field goal here, and the game still remains only 1 score. I think that based upon what's happened, and both these teams, had nothing really to play for, I think Revere's going to go for the 4 downs. So we'll see how it happens. Burlington's still unable to stop the run, and costing them again.
And after the call, Revere is
Murphy
good on the
on the
2-point
keeper.
conversion as
Good for the
Murphy
touchdown for
uses his
Revere.
legs and gets in and picks up 6 in favor of the home team, making the score 32-21. And Nick, what about that play by Murphy just diving through? We saw it on 3rd and 1 earlier around the 25-yard line, and it doesn't matter when you're just a couple yards away, he can still power through.
100% Joe. Obviously, they're going to go for 2 right here. Try and just make it a 13-point game. All points crucial right now. Burlington can still come back in this. There's 4:51 left, and that doesn't seem like a whole lot of time. But in football, possessions and timeouts like the Burlington Red Devils have do matter.
Legal procedure
So all causes.
against Revere.
And on the 2-point conversion attempt, a legal procedure is called against Revere. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty, as it looks like they keep the same personnel on the field to try to go for this one again, as 2 more points would certainly make this a very difficult lead for the Red Devils to come back from. Would put them up 34-21. Would be a 2-score game. Nonetheless, the Red Devils still have a shot, as this 2-point conversion still contains much importance. And as Murphy on the carry there, Murphy, the quarterback, comes in and
Conversion
could
attempt,
not
no good.
convert there. So Red Devils finally snuffed that one out, making the stop on the defensive line. I believe it was Chris Jones and Andrew Woods.
Revere,
As the wind and
32,
rain
Burlington, 21.
continues to pound down on us up top. And what has been a very ugly weather conditions in this ball game.
Worst conditions I've been in a long time, Joe.
Reminds us of Watertown. And if you're just tuning into this game with 4:36 remaining, I'm Joe Viscioni alongside Nick Bongiorno and Burlington BCAT sports coverage of Burlington Red Devil varsity football. And Burlington's the last game of the regular season before, in a week and a half, they'll be taking on, the Lexington Minutemen over at Harold Crum Field. I'll be covering that game as both teams meet in the Thanksgiving game for the last, I believe, 30 or 40 years. There will be another annual game. The Red Devils last year lost their score of a margin, I believe, of 35-7, in which Sal Freelick won for extra yardage and had himself quite a game.
Pick him on a return.
Nonetheless, the Red Devils will try to come back from that outing last year and looking forward to the next game. Nonetheless, back onto this game, the Red Devils offense trying to garner and get something going.
Yeah, Joe, right now 32-21 with 4:20 something remaining. This is going to be a miracle if Burlington can pull off a comeback win like they did last year to get their only victory of the season. Kyle Pena obviously led the way for that. He has to do it again. Culhane on the catch. Only goes for about 5 yards.
Culhane on the reception. We are man on the tackle for Revere.
And Culhane on the reception picks up about 7 yards for the Red Devils. 4 receivers set, 2 in stacked formation to the left, 2 to the right. Slot receiver is Ryan O'Halloran, and that pass falls incomplete, intended for Culhane around the 42-yard line as he was pressured up the middle by number 9, really putting the heat on Kyle Pena.
Right there, Joe. Nice pressure finally. Looked like the Pittsburgh Steelers defense against Cam Newton. Pena allowed any time Culhane couldn't get down the field, and the pass was definitely underthrown.
And Culhane was Pena's first read there, but he just couldn't connect with him, undershooting that one. Nonetheless, 3:51 remaining as Pena finds himself in a key 3rd and 3 for the Red Devils, trying to obtain their 6th win of the season and avoid a 4-game losing streak. And the Red Devils lost last week 28-7 against their opponents, trying to come back on the other side of it. Pena facing a prevent defense. Gonna roll to his right, fires across the middle. That pass is caught and good for first down yardage. They're gonna rule it incomplete at the end of this. One ref in the middle, though, is arguing with his mates, saying he caught it. Let's wait for the ruling on the field.
You don't know what a catch is anymore. These day and age in football, all sorts of weird rules.
And the head referee overturns that one, Nick, and is it's going to be ruled a reception by Ryan O'Halloran.
Was completed.
Yep.
So
Nick, even at the high school level, officiating crews cannot decide what is and what is not a catch. Nonetheless, here's Pena. Pena dropping back, and he's going to rush, and he is dropped from behind. It is not a sack because he was in front of the line of scrimmage. Nonetheless, he gets dropped as the clock continues to tick down. Around 3:10 remaining. Good pressure once again as the Red Devils have been failing to protect in pass protection, Nick, as they cannot keep Pena up.
2nd and 6 for Burlington.
Oh, it's really tough, and they have to get this on this next player, else they're not going to do well.
Here's Pena firing over the top, and that pass is incomplete. Intended for his receiver. A penalty marker is wanted on the field, nonetheless incomplete. Intended for Ryan O'Halloran, who had quite a day in the first half, Nick. A big field stretching run after the catch, near touchdown earlier.
3rd and 6.
And now on this play, couldn't come up with a reception.
And obviously there was no penalty flag, which Dan McKay wanted. He thought it might have been a late hit to a defensive receiver, excuse me. So it might have been, but the referees don't call it, and we play on 3rd down 6.
So here's 2:49. Pena's going to jump out and run it up the middle. And Pena picking up yardage. I believe that is good for the first down, if not very close. With about 2:41
Pena
remaining.
on the keeper.
Kyle Pena, not Kyle Pena.
Carifio in on the tackle for Revere.
Picks up decent yardage, and that's going to be a first down for the Red Devils with
First
under
and 10 for
3
Burlington
minutes.
On the 43-yard line.
It needs to hurry up. If they're going to have any chance, they need to get a quick score, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, so they can get an onside kick, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Incomplete pass.
Nonetheless, that pass sails incomplete. Stopping the clock at about 2:15 as the Red Devils offensive unit is clinging on to every little bit and piece of hope that they can get, down by 11 points. And wins as if we were up on a mountain climbing Mount Everest. Nonetheless, here's Pena dropping back, fighting through the tough conditions. Firing downfield, and that pass is boggled and nearly intercepted. It looks like the man in the secondary became the receiver for a second and couldn't hang on to it.
Yeah, Joe, Pena way overthrew that pass. He had him open. Ryan O'Halloran disappointed in that throw, and that throw should have been picked off, but with the rain might have caused a little bit of a Butterfinger moment. Couldn't hang on to the reception, couldn't hang on to that game-ending INT reception, excuse me.
Yeah. And the Red Devils looking to have a guardian angel looking on over above in this game as that pass almost certainly should have ended this ball game. Nonetheless, Pena is going to get his second attempt at this one. That was Pena's second pass that was almost intercepted. We saw the one on the pass interference earlier in the game that Nick pointed to. Just a 4-man rush. Pena fires it on the check down over to his man up the middle. And that pass is caught and dropped at around the 30-yard line. Timeout is going to take us to 1:56 at the 2-minute warning as Doherty picks up his first reception of the night.
That was a nice reception by Doherty. You know, he was unfortunately injured last week and couldn't play in the Belmont game. He was very dearly missed, and as Burlington lost. This time he gets wide open on the left-hand side of Pena's field. Pena hits him in stride, and obviously got a little bit of help with the blocks. Burlington still has a chance.
And now, here's Pena. Pena's going to drop back. Pena, pump fake, looking towards the end zone, and that pass is overthrown over the heads of his intended receiver. Looked to be a couple yards too deep on that one as Burlington got towards the end zone and just came up short.
2nd and 10 at the 30-yard line for Burlington.
Yeah, Joe, it was hard to see the play. The gusting winds might have even caused Pena to overthrow that ball.
And with the clock stopped at 1:40. Actually, I'll take it again. And with the clock stopped at 1:49, here's Pena getting the play call from his offensive coordinator and head coach, Dan McKay, who's done a fantastic job in getting this team back on things after last year going 1-10. Their only victory came here against the Patriots. Nonetheless, here's the corner blitz. Good block by McCulley. And Pena runs out of bounds across the 26-yard line. What a great block, Nick, by McCulley to save that play and salvage some yardage for the Red Devils.
Well, more importantly, saving the time on the clock, because if that clock keeps ticking, you can probably bet that the game is going to be coming more and more close to a dashing end. And obviously, it's only 3 yards at the end of the game, so it's not what you want. In fact, I actually think that Revere did a good job after the corner blitz of containing Pena and allowing a huge play down the middle, only making him go out of bounds and nothing big damage done.
As there is sirens in the background, presenting a sense of urgency for the Red Devils on the field. 4 receivers set, one more is Doherty. Looking downfield, that pass is nearly hauled in over the head of Jake McCulley, and that one falls incomplete, forcing a 4th and 5, which could ultimately forced this game to a close, Nick.
Joe, if we might want it to come to close, it's starting to hail, and we've been going through horrible weather all night. Joe, credit to you,
Just a reminder,
to myself,
at the end of the game, there are 3 exits.
for staying out in this
One
horrendous,
on each end of the
this
field,
horrendous weather.
and one underneath the press box.
It's been some
Also, Revere
fun plays
fans,
in this game.
Don't forget our annual Thanksgiving Day game against Winthrop High School here at the stadium.
Joe, and on
Thanksgiving
the last
Day
play over
at
Pena,
10 o'clock.
lots of nice time. They had a great amount of time. No one could get open. It was very much great coverage. We'll see if it happens again, because if they have the same coverage or they get some pressure on Pena, then the game's definitely going to be over.
Nonetheless, jogging back onto the field is the Patriots defense alongside the Burlington Red Devil offense, who has one more chance as Bad to the Bones comes on the intercom, giving some fans some life. Nonetheless, the Red Devils with the 4th and 5 will have one last chance to salvage the last game of the season here. That's Joe Viscioni alongside Nick Bongiorno, Josh Conflin on camera. Thanks for tuning in to BCAT Sports coverage. Our last 4 years of broadcasting for Burlington has been truly terrific, and this is, sad to say, our last game together for Nick and I. Nonetheless, here's Pena looking downfield, who makes the reception at the 16-yard line. Looks to be shaken up. Nonetheless, Ryan O'Halloran makes the catch.
O'Halloran on the
And a new
reception
set of downs for the Red Devils extending this game.
Yeah, Joe, I don't know how much we want the game to be extended at this point. I think that Dan McKay...
22nd timeout, Burlington.
Oh, great. And Dan McKay just called a timeout. Thank you to our applause to Dan McKay
1st and
for
10.
making us stay in this
from
weather
the
just a
Revere
tad bit more long.
17-yard line when play resumes.
Obviously, no, Dan McKay's done a great job. I had a thoroughly nice time interviewing him and getting insight on how great his season was. And I understand that you want to, obviously, he's a winner. He doesn't ever go down. So, and I'm actually fully fond of that process. So, good job at Dan McKay keeping the game going and trying to get the
And nonetheless, here's Kyle Pena from the left hash. Faces pressure up the middle. That pass is towards the end zone and caught for a touchdown. Ryan O'Halloran brings the Red Devils life, bringing it within a 1 score.
Now you want to go for 2 points.
O'Halloran
Let's try and bring it
on a
in.
Reception from Pena.
To bring it to a 3-point
Touchdown
game.
for Burlington.
And if they do that, then they can get onside kick and it'll be easier if they want to exercise Wheelock, because Wheelock has been making great kicks. Need this 2-point conversion first.
So here's Kyle Pena. 4 receiver set, 1 lined out wide on the right, 2 in the slot to the left, and 1 outside is Jake McCauley. Here's Pena, has Doherty in the backfield with him. Trying to go for his biggest 2-point conversion of his high school career. Nonetheless, an onside kick could be coming. Here's Pena, and he finds his way into the end zone for a 2-point conversion as the Red Devils
Pena
have life, and
on the
pending
2-point conversion, the keeper.
an onside kick could be right
good.
back in this game.
Joel,
Yeah,
How would you like to see
32,
that, Nick? One of those
Burlington,
Brady-esque
29.
like comeback drives.
I would love that, especially it's one of our last games together, Joe. I would
Just another reminder,
I would enjoy
When the
seeing
game is over,
the announcer just talking about the game being over. Hopefully it's not.
underneath the press
Even
box.
though
Please
it's
be
very
careful
cold
out
out,
there.
even though it's very
Roads are
cold
wet.
outside and we've been freezing this whole game,
Crossing the
I do
street.
think that is going to be great. As we got Wheelock, and he looks like he will be kicking.
Here's Wheelock for the onside kick attempt, and that goes right into the paws of the Patriots,
1st and 10 for Revere.
putting all the chances of Revere to a halt, and that's
48-yard line.
most likely going to end this game, Nick.
Yes, Joe. Unfortunately for Dan McKay, it might be a loss to end the season. I do think that I don't know how much timeouts are left. I pray that it will be enough to get a stoppage and Burlington can score a touchdown and win the game. That is the most hard situation that you're going to find, but it's possible. It's possible.
In frigid winds and continuous rains, the Red Devils' last chance was squandered. Nonetheless, The Burlington Red Devils find themselves with their 4th straight loss in the season, and that's going to put their record at an even 500, 5-5. And Nick, I got to say,
losing your last 4 games of the season, Joe, is not the way you want to end it. But
Timeout, Burlington.
But this is not going to be faulted, Joe. 5-5 is way better than 1-10. So let's keep going.
2nd and 3 for Revere.
so 2nd and 3 for Revere as a decent carry by McNeil up the middle, picks up 2nd yards as the Red Devils use another timeout. It seems what has been double digits for them. Continuing to stop the clock and almost certainly giving us both hypothermia outside the booth. Nevertheless, we talk on. Here's the carry on the counter. Great tackle by Magada. You said it, Nick, made behind the line of scrimmage to sniff that one out. And McKay takes another timeout, stopping the clock at 1:10.
Timeout, Burlington.
I also would like to go back to the onside kick by Wheelock. I know it was a couple plays ago. That actually was the perfect way to do it. He skidded it on the ground and got it bounced right in front of the man he was aiming it at. He was hoping for a fumble. It was really just a great play by the man who caught it and ground it to the ground safely. And still, the game might not be over depending on if they get the stop.
And the Red Devils here facing a 3rd and 1 for their defense. Nick, this is going to be one of the biggest defensive series for the Red Devils all season. A stop right here could give the Red Devils life for one more drive. But if you allow this Patriots offense to get a 1st down, your regular season is over with another loss in the win column. And Nick, who do you expect to make a play here on the Red Devils defense?
I think they're going to run the ball. I know they have a receiver set out on O'Hauer, and I don't think they're going to go that option. Yep, they're running the ball.
Here's the run to McNeil. McNeil churning extra yardage, 1st down to the 36-yard line as Dan McKay walks away in frustration.
Still got his headset, Joe.
McCauley in on that last tackle for
Look
Burlington.
at the feet on McKay's face, but
1st and 10
that man is
Revere.
resilient, and he is going to come back and bring Burlington Red Devils to another successful season next year, hopefully ending up with a winning record and maybe winning a playoff game.
Now there will be one more game remaining in the year. That is the annual Thanksgiving Day game, as we spoke about it. This is our last game that Nick and I will be broadcasting together. It's truly been a privilege. And I'll be broadcasting that alongside TJ Horgan, so we'll make sure to tune into that one. Nonetheless, the Red Devils pick up their 5th loss of the season on a 4-game skid. And Nick, in what was a close game at the start, really ran away from the Red Devils at the end. They just couldn't find their rhythm.
No, Joe, they had the lead, and they had control of the game for a good part of it. Unfortunately, Revere just broke away, did a great job of running the same 2 plays on rushes up the middle with their big man Furlong and the quarterback keeper. Burlington 32-29, a good fight, good game to watch, even though if you couldn't broadcast the whole thing. But once again, let's keep it going for next year.
And a great game.
Nonetheless, the Red Devils walk away with their 5th loss of the season, 32-29 in favor of the Revere Patriots. And that's your ball game, folks. My name's Joe Viscione alongside Nick Bongiorno, signing off one last time for BCAT Sports. It's been a great time broadcasting. Thanks to everyone for helping out with this game. And we'll see you next time in BCAT Sports. My name's Joe Viscione. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.